Hey guys, Regina Floyd coming to you from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am just shooting a quick video today to basically talk to you strong women out there. And I saw a post this morning that talked about a successful woman and how a successful woman, even when bricks are being thrown at her, is able to take those bricks and build a foundation. And that had quite an impact. I've been going through some growing in my personal life, where I have been challenged to become more comfortable with who I am. And for me, I guess I thought I had to hide the strength that I have inside. If you know a little bit about me, then you know that I come from a law enforcement background, 20 years in law enforcement, and the last 10 of those as a police officer and a police sergeant working the Las Vegas streets. And you know, in that kind of a profession, that strength served me well. Because, as you can imagine, it is a heavily male-predominant, profession. So there are mostly men there, not a lot of women. And as you can imagine, women face unique challenges in law enforcement. For me, I'm only 5'2", so somebody might look at me and I don't look like much compared to, say, a 6 foot, 250-pound man. But what I learned in law enforcement was that my strength didn't have to be physical, that my strength could be an inner strength, my strength could be an attitude of strength, my strength could be, more of a, how I portrayed myself, and being strong was a survival skill. And a lot of times you can imagine running into a particular call or some kind of call for service where somebody had a gun or a knife or, some sort of fight or something like that. You can imagine that there's fear there, but I guess I learned how to put on a face in that situation, where I learned to focus on what my purpose was, and to go after that purpose, and to just handle the situation, and then to smartly use my abilities and skills and the training I received, which was outstanding, in learning how to handle that situation. And another unique thing about that was learning how to work as a team, because as a 5'2" smaller woman, I'm not going to run into a fight and think I'm going to handle it all by myself. I'm going to be working with the guys that are with me, and the ego's out the door, and we're going to work together to diffuse the situation. So interestingly enough, in that profession, I learned how to be stronger. But then when I got out of that profession, I felt like my strength was kind of my weakness or my downside, because I'm that kind of personality, I guess. Never mind the strengths I learned from my job, but my personality type too is to be a very independent woman that can take care of herself. And I've felt like I've had to subdue that, because I felt like people can't handle that. That people, misread me, because the confidence or the strength or the determination is actually scary to people. And I've learned this past week that it's okay to be me. That it's okay to have that strength. That the right people in my life will be attracted to that strength, and that I can help others by being strong. And that maybe the fact that my flame, I guess, burns at the level that it does is going to actually light the way for other people who aren't so sure. And it's been a huge kind of aha moment, because my strength has served me in my life. And an example that I use, and hopefully it doesn't bring me to tears, this is my second take, and I cried on the last video, and that's a vulnerability issue I'm dealing with. But I have lost both my parents, my father in 2003 and my mother this year. And it hit me kind of like a ton of bricks. And maybe that's why this Facebook thing I saw this morning hit me so hard, because it hit me like a ton of bricks, that if it hadn't been for the person that God made me, the strong person that God made me, I might not have been able to handle my mother's death, my mother's illness and her death. Again, if you know a little bit about me, I've been taking care of my mother for probably about 9 years now. And in the last 4 or 5, she started getting sicker. She was 85 when she passed. And during that time, the strong person, the strong Regina, is the one that was able to manage her own life, her child's life. I'm a single mom, and the life of an elderly parent. And I was willing to sacrifice, kind of some of myself to take care of my mother, which I'll never regret. But in this last year, my mother got sick in January, and she was in the hospital January, and again in February, and finally in March. And at the end of March, we brought her home on hospice, and I had to take care of my mother in her last days. And I tell you what, the strength, the inner strength that I've been afraid to share, the inner strength that I've been afraid is going to offend or scare off other people, is the only reason that I made it. The only reason, but by the grace of God, of course. But that inner strength is what got me through the toughest parts of my life. After my mother's death, I ended up losing 2 pets, and it was a rough spot. It was a dark spot, but you know what? This strong woman kept it together. This strong woman handled funeral arrangements and handled everything else and handled a business and a young child, trying to explain death and the loss to a young child, and maintained all the things I still do in my life. And it occurred to me that I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it if I wasn't who I am. God gave me that situation because of who I am, and I can't hide that. I don't need to hide that. It's who I am. So I make no apologies now to other people that are maybe taken back by the strength, because that's their inner issue. That's their inner game. It's not mine. So I hope that, especially to you ladies watching, that are maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you can relate to being a strong, independent woman, that you've had to kind of hide that and pull that back a little bit because you're afraid it's too much for the average person. I hope that you understand that be who you are. You are here for a purpose, and your purpose is what makes you you. And by shining your light, you're going to be able to help someone else whose maybe light is not so strong, and you're going to be an inspiration. And I hope that I'm an inspiration to other women, especially guys too, but especially the women. I hope I'm an inspiration to other women, because if I can do it, then you can do it. And I look forward to chatting with you on the next video. Hopefully this didn't go too deep for you, but the big message is just be who you are. Be a brick house. Be a successful, strong, powerful woman. It's okay. It's okay. I believe in you. It's okay. So I look forward to it. Make your day a fabulous day, because believe it or not, it is a choice. Make your day a fabulous day, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.